Andrew.
Yes.
I'm glad you're back.
Thank you.
So, this is just kind of a nice thing.
For sure.
Emma says, last year I wrote in explaining that my mother was ... not accepting my trans identity. Mm-hmm. You all were incredibly supportive, and Andrew made the very good point that the VST would surely take that video and upload it to the YouTube so I could watch it whenever I was feeling down. He was right, they did, and I have. It has been a light in my life for the last year.
Oh, that's real nice.
So
that's really, really good to hear, Emma.
Emma continues, this doesn't need to be specific to me or to trans people, but I'd love to see some positivity about queer folks and advice on getting on in the world. Thankfully, I'm graduated from high school, so I don't need that anymore.
Oh, excellent.
I don't know if I can speak to that last point in particular, but yeah, what's up?
I can too. Yeah. Please, Kelly.
Hello. So, some people might know that I officially this year came out completely as non-binary. Last year I was using she, her, them, they, but now very nice. I like it. Yeah. But yeah, so I've identified as queer for years, and now I'm non-binary, and I can say from personal experience it can be hard with parents. Mm-hmm. But you can find your chosen family and your chosen friends out there. And so that's a huge part of it. You find the people who are there. For example, if I may bring out a Penelope story.
Oh, please.
When I came out, I told Penelope I was non-binary because we were talking about boys and girls. And I was like, well, I don't identify as a boy and I don't identify as a girl. And I explained. So she says, and she remembered, we talked about it for a little bit. And she was like, non-binary. Okay, but you're my Kelly. And I was like, okay, so am I a boy? And she's like, Kelly. Like, no, there's no pronouns. You're just my Kelly. And I was like, okay, kid, yeah, you got this.
Kelly.
Which Lord Hosk actually made a great poster for you, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm apparently running for something. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so, and don't worry if you're in high school.
Yeah. Oh I can speak to. There's life after high school, and it gets way better.
So much.
Debt does not continue to be an issue past high school. So I promise that terrible, terrible time, or okay time, I mean, some people do have an okay time, have really good support, is going to change. You'll be 5 years out and be like, what happened? So,
and you can find people in high school who are like you. Like, you can find people who will love you and accept you for who you are, and you can be open and kind with them and love and accept them for who they are.
Yeah.
High school is difficult. High school is real bad for a lot of folks. High school was awful for me. But even going to high school in a small town and discovering as a teen in high school that I was queer and being able to find people to talk to about that who are either similar to me or accepting of me was very, very important. My friend circle from that time period will always be very, very important to me, especially those folks who did, in some cases quite bravely, come out as trans or non-binary or queer in high school in such a small town when, we were already the nerds, so we were already getting quite...
Yeah, you get beat up for a couple different reasons, and you're like, not so great.
Yeah.
Folks in chat are bringing it up, and I want to draw attention to it as well, is that high school is definitely the one that gets the most press, because it's already very difficult on just a general scale, but there is no time limit.
Yes.
There is no limit on when you can find yourself and when you can be comfortable with who you are. It can happen in high school, it can happen in college, it can happen when you're 20, when you're 30, when you're 40, when you're 50, when you're 60, when you're 70, whatever time.
Yes.
And there is no wrong time.
Yes.
It's okay.
I was 33.
Yeah.
It's not like you graduate high school and you're like, well, I guess I'm locked in with this forever.
Yeah. No, you are who you think you are at whatever point in your life that you are at.
Yeah. And if you're an adult and looking at, expressing yourself. For example, at work, I wear a rainbow lanyard with my tag on it, and that's something that it's something we're working for in BC in particular because we have LGBTQ seniors here who need support, and then staff who need support too, and being recognized as who they are. So there's ways that you can kind of Little things.
And you'll find those folks everywhere. You'll find those folks all over as part of Desert Bus, as part of why we wear our pronoun pins. M. Lunsford, who draws our poster, is also non-binary. There's a ton of folks here, and this is why I and a number of us talk about trans rights and non-binary rights, because they're human rights. It's people's right to be treated as a person, and that's inalienable. Those are your rights. No person, no government, no nothing can do anything about that. And you are valid, and you have value. And I see you there. So thank you for being you. Thank you for being brave. And thank you for being who you want to be. And thank you very much, Emma, for sending in this challenge. I appreciate you.
I didn't feel particularly challenged by it.
Yeah.
If you do need a place that you can't find, for example, Lur's Discord has an LGBTQ chat room there, so there's people there to support if you're not able to find someone local.
Another thing that's important to support with stuff like this is, since we're talking about orientations as part of this, is also the ace and aromantic community.
Yes.
There are a number of asexual and aromantic folks, both in chat and possibly even in this building. Hi, friends.
Hello.
And your orientation is incredible and valid and has value, and I love you for it. You're excellent.
Yeah, it was great. Andrew helped me come out this year, which was like super great. He just like sat down with me and we like chatted it out and whatnot. So our friendship is very important to me, buddy. I love you.
Me too. All right, that was the bit that got me to start crying.
Nerd.
Love you, buddy.
Now where's a challenge where I talk about butts?
Thank you, Chad.
Oh, wow.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Emma.
we are all gross.
Oh yeah, nobody touch each other, even though that was an emotional moment.
We're all sweat piles.